Welcome to Kaleidescape Insiders, your source for all things Kaleidescape. I'm your host, Amanda Davis, and today we'll be talking about how to use the Common Sense Media tool on the Kaleidescape Movie Store to help you choose age-appropriate movies. Now, first, just a little bit about Common Sense Media and what it is. So it's an independent nonprofit company that essentially helps parents and caregivers choose age-appropriate content. So how they do this is through a series of movie ratings and reviews. It's a tool essentially that breaks down the content into different themes, giving you sort of an idea of what's inside the movie or TV series or even books. And it's a little bit more granular than the MPA rating system because instead of just going from, G to PG to PG-13, it actually gives you an age. So it's like age 6+ or age 8+, etc. So this is really nice. It gives parents a heads up when content may be inappropriate for a certain age and why. So there's a review that goes along with it that kind of talks about like, are there different, more adult words in the movie or different themes? So you can kind of read through the review if you still think that it's appropriate for your kid, and just kind of make that choice yourself. So here I'm going to just show you a few different movies on our store, just to give you kind of an idea of what the tool looks like on Kaleidescape and how to use it for yourself. So I've pulled up a couple of different movies to make it easier for you to get an idea. Back in the 80s, when the MPAA rating system was in effect, but before they had developed PG-13, there were a lot of movies that were released where they were either going to be given a PG rating or an R rating. And one of the examples here I've brought up is the Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, a movie I love, but this sort of was in that time period when the PG-13 rating hadn't been developed. So a great example of when Common Sense Media is really useful is something like this, where you see the ratings PG, but Common Sense Media here is saying 11+. So what I would do as a parent is I would click on this and just take a look at why is it rated 11+. So as you can see, here's the review. So you could read through that really quick and just kind of get an idea for what the content is, see if it's appropriate for your kid, because you're going to know your child or grandchild's needs better than any rating system, but this does help you make that determination. So here it says there are some positive messages and role models, but there's also a lot of violence, a little bit of sexiness there going on, a little bit more language, etc. So you can kind of take that into account, see how old your child is, and see if it makes sense to just kind of give it a go, or maybe give it a skip until they're a little older. Another example I like to give is Back to the Future, another movie I grew up watching and, of course, love. This is another one that's rated PG, so you would think, oh, I watched it when I was a kid. It's rated PG. Of course, we should watch it. But Common Sense is saying 10+, and there's a couple of reasons why. While there are some positive messages and role models, there's also quite a bit of violence and sexiness, language, some consumerism, etc. So this kind of gives you an idea that there are a little bit more mature themes going on that may or may not be appropriate for your child, depending on where they're at. So you're going to have to make that determination as the parent or caregiver. And then another example I want to contrast this against is Star Wars: A New Hope. So this one's also rated PG, but as you can see, Common Sense is saying 7+. Let's look at why. So here we see that the positive messages and role models are a little bit higher on the scale. There is some violence and scariness, which could affect younger viewers, but there's not a lot of sexy stuff. The language isn't really that bad, etc. So this is kind of the nuance that Common Sense Media gives you, whereas the MPA and MPAA rating systems don't quite go into this much detail. So this is why I personally love to use Common Sense Media ratings when choosing movies with my kids. So I've been using this for years now. It's available both on the web store, as I was showing you, also in the mobile app. So anytime you're kind of curious about a new movie that's coming out and kind of determining, should I show this to my kids or not yet? That's my favorite way to go to kind of make that determination. So I think that's it. So thanks for watching. Until next time, this is Amanda Davis with Kaleidescape Insiders. Be sure to like and subscribe.